for me, I'll try to go beyond the issue of conflict, but for the issue of violence and extremism. Here, talking about extremism, the first threat to human security is extremism. Extremist set of mind always results in armed violence. Armed violence should be addressed directly through two of its main pillars, mentality and the mean. So here we are not talking about conflict. And here my friend not through it, but for here the issue is that conflict something natural, something normal, wherever a human being exists at any time and anywhere. But here for the mentality which is accepting violence as a mean. Here are some of our recent, let's say, events in Lebanon. Addressing mentality, talking about tolerance and religion. We are talking here about mentality for our beliefs, what we believe in. Do we believe in, let's say, revenge or tolerance, refusing the other or accepting the other? Tolerance for the extremists, it is a point of weakness. It is not a sign of strength, where the UN, the General Assembly, invited the UN member state to observe the International Day of Tolerance. It is an issue of human rights, as well it is an issue of religion. As well, religion here, which call for tolerance, but this value is not considered by extremists. Religion for them, it is a source of, let's say, conflict or source of maybe struggle and not a source of peace. For the behaviors, maybe here also the perception of inferiority of the other gives extremists the excuse to delete who is different. And violence is a natural choice for extremists to defend their identity and beliefs. The other issue, which is the mean, we are looking, let's say, within armed conflict, the mean, which is the weapon. And the MENA region is one of the main regions regarding arms circulation, not restricted to states, but spreads to armed groups and citizens, small arms and light weapons, as well the traditional arms. So here, if we look for our situation, what's the difference between Lebanon and Switzerland? Both of us, we have a lot of conflicts, and both of us, we have a lot of arms. But here the difference is the mentality which is accepting violence as a mean to solve our conflicts. So here, without going in details, but we can mention just the names. The Middle East, the states in the Middle East like Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Algeria, Egypt, and many others, they are the main importers of arms, and one of the hugest, let's say, transaction of arms, it was 2 years ago with Saudi Arabia, about $60 billion, somehow equal to the debt of the Lebanese state. From other side here, also within our region, a lot of countries who are manufacturing a lot of arms, like Israel, Turkey, and Egypt. Addressing violent extremism, if we consider that conflict is natural in life, and but the mentality accept armed violence as an acceptable mean or solution. If you also consider the availability of arms in our societies, if you also consider the vulnerability of the main target groups, the youth. The youth are the main, let's say, component of the militias. No militias without youth. So youth here can be a source of for doing conflict, or as well they can be a source for building peace. From this perspective, we are trying to address the issue and to give the importance of the role of youth in peace building. Here we can see a child soldier of 10 years that just 2 weeks ago in Tripoli in Lebanon. Another one. So here it is not enough to say no for violence. It is much more important to give the alternative. If peaceful means for conflict resolution is proved to be, let's say in some extreme cases, inefficient, insufficient, our last resort is non-violent, but not violent at all. So for let's say, whoever doing or commit violence against the other, they are saying, or they are convinced and trying to let's say, justify for the other, we did use all the, let's say, peaceful means. And most, if not all, the wars, defensive or defensive war or just war or like this. But here we are trying to say, yes, the peaceful means it is so important, but if it is, let's say, proved useless, we cannot go for non-violence. The non-violence by itself, which is unlimited sources of means to solve conflicts and also to avoid conflicts. Here our organization, Permanent Peace Movement, with a lot of networks built around this organization in the MENA region, working on peace building on all levels, local, national, and international, which is peace. Peace is a comprehensive issue. And here we are trying not just maybe to transform, but also to prevent and also to strive to empower individual institutions, enabling them to play their respective role in this field of peace building. Raising awareness, capacity building, campaigning, providing spaces of dialogue or for dialogue on a lot of subjects like non-violence, dialogue, conflict prevention, early warning, early response, and also we can add for it the issue of voluntary and the issue of citizenship. So here we are in this maybe photo doing training for teachers who has a direct contact and their job with youth, and also here with lead of NGOs who are working with youth. Issues here related to arms control on the MENA region, and most of our activities, if not all of them, in direct or indirect way to youth, and we believe that peer-to-peer is a very important approach, that the youth, they can convince the other of their colleagues more than any, let's say, anybody else. So here we are trying from the very beginning to construct our projects with the youth themselves and to do their job with their friends. Here, dialogue for that. And also here, in many situations, let's say, in our country, whenever there is a political tension, we are trying to go for second track, or let's say another track, which is having to give, let's say, space of dialogue for the youth, coming from political parties who are, let's say, fighting each other. That's here, Tawakkul Kurman, who got the last Nobel Peace Prize from Yemen. I gave her a training in the 205 on conflict resolution and peace building in Taiz in Yemen. That's another photo also for me with control arm at her office in Taiz in Yemen in 205. That's the last issue, working on small arms and the availability of arms. That's a brochure about arms that we are asking to have the arms at the place where it should be. And working on arms, it is not just on small arms and light weapons, but also for the conventional arms. We will be here by the coming week within the General Assembly when there will be the final draft on the General Assembly to be voted on. We are trying to make lobbying and advocacy with all the Arab mission to go positively with that process. As well, the last issue, the mass destruction arms, many years ago, all, let's say, the world and not our region looking for having the MENA region as a nuclear armed free zone. Hopefully by the end of this year there will be a conference about this issue, and the role of youth, it is main one, that we are working with them to raise awareness about the risk for having our region full of arms. And here, that's just an additional point that our activities going usually to schools, universities, and not just in Lebanon, but as I mentioned, in all of the MENA region. Hopefully that we can contribute for the issue of peace with the youth that were the, let's say, mature, or the others they cannot do. Thanks a lot.